pressed my heart. So sure enough, I looked into food, realized I didn't know anything. That was my gateway door into the
Mm.
unlearning, was through food. I became really interested, became a holistic nutrition. I went to the Canadian School of Natural Nutrition, and that's when all the light bulb moments went off. And I started kind of going through, okay, well, if I'm so concerned about food and what's on his body, around his body, what are they being injected with? So did a deep dive into that.
Mm.
So my second son was born in 2018. He had absolutely nothing. And I realized that was the biggest lie we've ever been sold as parents, that our children need something outside of their divine design and us. Um, Both babies were born in the hospital, epidurals, the full works. I thought home birth should be illegal. I thought birth was dangerous. Ended up speaking out, getting fired in 2020 for speaking against the public health mandates. For 3 years, boots on the ground, bringing awareness, fighting for freedom. And then I became pregnant with baby girl and realized I no longer wanted to fight. I was creating this life within me and I wanted to create freedom, just like I was
Mm.
creating this miracle within me. And I was so blessed to be able to have a redemption birth at home, out of system, completely full circle. And I guess that's where I'm at now, to help other families break free from the systems, break free from the lies, break free from the fear that we've been told to outsource our trust and find everything outside of ourselves. The only thing that we need outside of ourselves is God, our faith. Everything else is that He has given us within, and then even His strength. So that's tried to keep it as like concise as
I love it.
possible.
You know I was thinking about is that you and I are you're a little bit younger than I am. I'm 51. And so um I was a huge birth advocate, like loud and proud. You know, when you are a birth advocate, it's like you can't keep your mouth shut. Try to just get me to watch a birth on TV silently without saying anything. That's just like I'll tell myself I'm going to be quiet and I can't be quiet. It's just so ridiculous. But I think during the time where you thought that home birth should be illegal was probably the time where I was out there picketing and doing like birth
Yeah,
matters.
yes, absolutely.
And I still believe that, but I've really had this feeling of like I don't have that same like this fire to go like really I feel like I've done my part where I was out there and I talked and I talked and I talked. And now there's the next generation of people like yourself who are out there really advocating for good births. And
Hmm.
and I'm feeling like in this time in my life, I really want to advocate for women being financially independent and
Absolutely.
really embracing menopause and all the stages of their life. But like when we're going through things ourselves, that's like where our passion is. And when I
Yeah.
was giving birth, my passion was really waking people up and saying different things and anti circumcision and all of these kind of things. Um, but where you and I collide is that you are very much into teaching everybody about how to become financially independent and not just independent on their own, but independent like from our systems and everything too.
Yes. Well, I just realized as I was, going through learning about food, and, nourishing our bodies and what that looked like, then it was learning about, okay, we don't need anything man made by man. We don't need anything about that, right? Birth. And then it was all these things. I'm like, I homeschool my kids. Like, sorry, they came at the wrong time. And I was like, okay, I'm doing all these things to like bring back trust, bring it back within our family, bring it back where it
Mm,
belongs. And I was like, okay, well, what about the banking system? What about this government printed money? Like that's something
right.
else we've been sold this lie about, this paper money that we've been told to value, which is valueless, again, coming from the governments. And I was like, okay, well, how do we take back control of that? And I didn't
Mm,
know until 2.5 years ago. I was introduced to understanding what fiat meant, understanding the Federal Reserve, the central banks, and then finding the solution in gold and silver. And so that you and I, yeah, really connected over that. And it's beautiful because, like you said, all these other things that we want to bring into home, and take back control, but we also don't want to do it alone, right?
Right.
Like with schooling, you know, we want a community that we can homeschool with, or life school, world school, whatever it is. With birth, you know, you have your wise women, your neighbor, you know, that you want to bring into the space and help and go through it. And just like with wealth, what we've created, we get to create this wealth and save and gold and silver together as a community again. So we're all coming together to move forward in a new direction, no longer fighting, but we're creating the new, which brings so much hope. And this is what I've called the quiet rebellion that begins in the home. So we
Oh, I
can
love
do this
that.
together, not fighting, not being loud, but we're, you know, we're getting solid in who we are and where we're going.
That's a huge thing because I think with me too, I had such a fighter mentality for a long time, and almost get like angry at people. It's really hard, I think, when you see things and you like see past the illusions of things, and then it's right there in front of you. You can't unsee it. You can't unsee it, and so it can feel frustrating at times. And this is where I was before. Was what do you mean you can't see it? You know what I'm saying? I'm telling you, look at this. And they're like, no, that's not right. I'm like, yeah, yes, it is. Look at all of the evidence, you know? Um, and I've had to just come to a place where I'm just like, I'm just going to speak my truth. I'm going to live my truth and speak my truth and be an example to people and have these kind of conversations where if somebody wants to learn, they can learn. But uh, I'm not degrading anybody who doesn't think like me, you know?
Yes, absolutely. We have to have that compassion. And I think it's really important for me to remember that as well. Cause I'm like, okay, well, people probably felt the same about me when I was an indoctrinated nurse. Like, you know, my first
Mhm.
son had his shots up till 18 months. I thought home birth should be illegal. And now look at where I am on the other side. Right. So
Right.
we have to have compassion and respect. And I've kind of realized that it's not so much of just like dumping information on, it's living this life that creates curiosity, right? Is what now I
Yes.
want to see. I want to live such a beautiful life of joy, vibrancy, health, love. People are like, well, what are you doing? And I'm like, oh, well,
Mm.
isn't that interesting? You should ask. Well, like this is what we believe. This is what we do. So that's kind of been my way now is like, you know, leading by example, right? And how can
Yes.
we have more families living a life on their terms, a life that they love, you know, a life that they value, not by circumstances. And then that, right, is again the rebellion because we're moving forward and people are like, what is happening? What are all those families doing? What is going on over there? Like, how do
Right.
I get me some more of that? Right? Like what is that in Harry Met Sally? The one scene with
I'll
Meg
have what
Ryan.
she's
And
having.
yeah, exactly, right? Like that's what it is. You want people to be interested. Like, I want some of that. Like tell me about
Yes.
that instead of dumping information down on people.
Yes, and I think that you're living this great example. I love watching you, and I love watching you, have this freedom where you're not locked into different places. Now I see, is it Costa Rica you're at right now, or where are
Nicaragua.
you? Oh, okay, wonderful. Um,
Hmm.
and have you been there before?
Yeah, we were here 2 years ago. Yeah, and just
Okay.
loved it. Hmm.
And
Hmm.
so is it like a temporary thing, do you think, or are you trying to build a community?
We're trying to connect with the community. We've met some lovely people here and some families with kids. And you know, Jan, who's part of our group, you know, she's down south. She's a bit and Michelle, there's a bunch of us, right, that are kind of all connected that are here. They're a bit further away right now, but we'll be meeting up in the new year. Um, we're just trying to create options. I was feeling I've been wanting out of the city since 2018. And things finally
Mm,
aligned that we were able to do this. And you know, we people would look at like, you know, where we're at in our life and be like, you're not able to do that. And it's like, probably, but we're going to do it anyways because of that. Because if we don't do something now, we're going to stay stuck. If we wait until the right time,
yes.
if we wait till we're ready, whatever that means, then who knows if it'll happen. So it's like
Mhm.
moving into who you are, who you want to be, and moving in that direction, moving as though it has already happened, moving as though, you know, it is right. And so this
Yes.
is what I guess we're working towards too, is like if this is the life that we want to have flexibility, options, choice, you know, location freedom, whatever that looks like, then we
Right.
got to step into it. Mhm.
Exactly. I keep on hearing, uh, "You need to get your passports. You need to get your passports like, cause my passports are so old. I haven't renewed my passport in forever, and, I keep on hearing that, and I'm learning to listen more, and decipher, anxiety between is it anxiety or, is it a spirit message, So, yeah, I
Is it fear? Is it fear holding you back, or is it awareness, and wisdom to pause? It's
Yeah,
really important to kind of decipher that. Like, are you making decisions based on fear? Are you holding back because of the unknown, or are you holding back because of wisdom and an actual need to pause
yes.
and think and reevaluate? But most times, it's really hard to tell the difference, and most often people get stuck in the fear category and stay paralyzed, stay stuck, stay, where they're at, because the enemy is very powerful, the devil, and he likes to whisper things of doubt. You're not good enough. You can't do this. He wants to keep us
Mhm.
small and paralyzed and ineffective because he knows that we're already seated at the right hand in the heavenly realms. And so he doesn't want us to realize how powerful we are. If we all actually owned our identity and actually owned how powerful we are, like that's it,
Mm.
game over. So all he can do is whisper lies, and it's up to us whether we want to believe it or not. Mhm.
Right, and go forward. And I think that last night I was thinking about things, and I was thinking about how, so many people who have, like, left the church can be triggered by certain words and things like that, but yet they say things that mean very much the same thing. Like, people will say, like, they're your old wounding and things like that, right? But it's the same thing. It's that negative self-talk that's that's going in and keeping you small,
Mhm. Keeping you
very much.
comfortable, right? Because that's where, like, ego, whatever you wanna look at it, whatever you wanna call it, wants to keep you small, shrinking back, comfortable. And,
Mhm.
the most beautiful things are on the other side of discomfort, right? Like, I mean, you can use this fly flying around. You can use the example of a diamond, right? Like, it has to get, like, so, like, rough to find it to get the shine. Like, it goes through such a process to come out
Yes.
shining and vibrant on the other side, to be refined. And that's all it is. All the challenges, all the obstacles, you are being refined, you are being strengthened, you are being expanded, you are leveling up.
Mhm.
You can't continue to go on as you are because you need new skills. Each time you move
Yes.
up, you need to learn something new. You need to get stronger, more resilient, add more grit, whatever it is. So you're going to meet obstacles or challenges that are going to continue to refine your character so you can continue to push on and further ahead. Mhm.
Yes, and all of us have different ways of doing it too, and I've been finding new ways to, like, get myself out of those because I'm a get into freeze mode. I'll just freeze, and I've even been in dangerous situations before, and I literally just freeze, like, I don't know. I'm part possum, I guess, but I feel like, um, I'm learning how to just at least take a first step. And if I can take a first step and take tiny steps, and then I can go on in because I used to in order to get myself to go forward, I would just unsafely leap. And then I would just come crashing down, I'm like, "Well, I took the leap." Yes, but I didn't, like, look to see if it was safe before, you know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't take any precautions, and I'm learning now how to do different things, and, um, being in your group right now, I would love to talk about what we are doing right now with,
Yeah.
if if you don't mind, because that's how we started talking, is
Yes.
that you offered up telling me about you were talking before about fearing fiat currency, right? And this is something that I have been like for 20 plus years watching and waiting. And I watched God, I can't think of his name. He was a Canadian guy who used to be on PBS, and he would talk about uh, fiat not being stable 20 years ago. And there was a guy named James Dine, and he was called the original gold bug, and I used to buy gold and silver and uranium stocks. And then I started buying real silver. And then you came along and you introduced me to something that was even cooler. You know more about it than better how to explain it than I do. Would you love to tell people about it?
Yes. I was looking for a solution, as I mentioned, to get out of the banks, to save in something real. But I had been fighting, boots in the ground, lost my job, lost my license, didn't have a lot of cash flow. And I was like, okay, well, how do I even get my hands on gold and silver? Gold's gone up so much. It seemed out of reach. And I found this platform, and through Sound Money Wallet, it's revolutionary, it's innovative, like decades beyond an infrastructure where we can buy fractionally in physical gold. It's beautiful. So whatever your budget is, as low as $1, as high as you want, you can start buying into physical gold. And it makes it so that it's transactable. This is the part that gets me really excited, because people, like I have gold, saving it, dig a hole in your backyard, wherever you're storing it out, safe. But it's like, how do you then use it out in the world? What does that look like? You have a 1 ounce of gold. How do you sell that? Where are you going if you just need a fraction of it, right? Now that gold's going up so much. So we have a platform now that not only allows you to buy fractionally, in a budget that makes sense to you. We can also liquidate it fractionally. It's like, oh my gosh, an emergency came up. I need $1,000. Sell, boom, instantly back into a form that you can use out in the world. And we can also gift fractionally. So I could, send you gold, silver. You're in Florida. I could send you whatever it is for goods, products, services. So we're also creating our own economy, again, privately, outside of the banks, in a way that we can use out in the world. And it's become pretty amazing. The community that we're creating, the fellowship that we're creating, and that's what it's all about too. It's like, yes, it's one thing to have these reserves and supplies on hand, but to do it together as a community, where it is
Mhm.
transactable, where we are building a new way forward, where our assets then multiply into someone else and they grow into someone else. Like, we get to do this together as a group. Like, it's pretty phenomenal. Hmm.
Right. It is. And I know that I've been kind of slow getting into it, just doing everything else that I've been doing, but it's always in the back. And the easiest thing that I did is I just set up some uh oh my goodness, reoccurring investing because
The
that's like
discipline
all I can
savings.
do. I figure if I do it like that, then even if I'm so busy doing everything else, at least I have like some going in and doing more like that. Uh, the Sound Money wallet is what really sold me because, like I said, I've invested in gold and silver before, and I did well investing in gold and silver back in 2008 when everybody else. I sometimes they're like people will say like, "Oh, remember back in 2008?" And I'm like, "Yeah, it was a good year." And then I'm like, "Oh, yeah, it wasn't for everybody, but it was a good year for me, because I had myself invested in gold and silver."
Yes, absolutely, because it's stable, and when people lose trust in the systems, that's when gold and silver continues to hold value. So when things collapse, gold and silver always remain, always, throughout thousands of years. Like,
Right.
anytime any ancient civilization has gone away from gold and silver, that's when they collapse. The Roman Empire, they started to dilute and debase their gold and silver, to fund a war. And, again, their
Mhm.
economy collapsed. So gold and silver is what keeps things solid, helps you remain ahead, helps you get ahead of inflation. But also, when things change, gold and silver is reliable. It is what
Yes.
protects the banks, the governments, the wealthy. And why not us? Why can't we be a part
Exactly.
of that too?
Oh, for sure, because I know I like to watch other podcasts and people talking about finances and things like that, and a lot of what I've been hearing is that, a lot of gold and silver is being bought up by banks, and we wanna make sure that, but I don't wanna be in a scarcity mentality either, but I just think people should be aware because there there are people who are talking about a system being set up to completely devalue fiat currency and making it as a way of getting the United States out of their debt.
Yes.
It's kind of complicated to describe, and if anybody's interested, I can send you some videos on that. But uh, it's just a theory, but it's a pretty smart theory. And to me, being intuitive, I look at that and I'm like, that feels like truth.
Yeah.
And that's a big thing with me too. And people know me as being someone who trusts my intuition on things. And when you started talking to me about this company, I immediately had that yes feeling. Like, yes, this is good. And it was just a matter of figuring out um how to get the money to start, because uh it's like it was it 500 I think it was 500 to get in, like in a full membership, and uh like 150 or something like that for some people. So it's not a whole lot to get involved, but when things are really super tight, it can feel like a big amount, right?
Yeah, and you were so creative and you made it happen. That's the thing. Like we were in so much debt, had all these things, and I was like, well, nothing changes if nothing changes. And I was like, I have to get ourselves out of this. So, got a credit card, put it down, leap of faith, and it's like, okay, I'm committing to this. I'm going to make this work, and help others do the same, because I watched way too many people struggle. I watched way too many people lose their jobs, lose income. I watched people make decisions that went against like all their values and beliefs, but because they were felt stuck because of finances. And I was like, no, none of us should ever feel that way again, to be coerced into doing something just because of our
Right.
financial situation. And so it became really important to me to help get this out and share with people, especially, in Canada. We watched our bank accounts get frozen. We watched all this happen. It's like, okay, no, we need another tool to help us move forward, so we don't have to have fear. That's the thing. Like, I don't do any of this out of fear. I do this out of a choice, right? You always hear
Hmm.
like vote with your dollars. Well, I am voting with my dollars. I'm putting my dollars into something real. I'm taking, that fake government paper, and I'm converting it into something real that they then can't take away from me, that can't be debased, that can't be devalued or inflated, right? So it is. Yeah, so it's just bringing this education to more people, so they're not fearful, so they do have peace of mind, so we can move forward together.
Mm. I have some comments here. Samantha says, "This life that light shines and makes people curious, I guess. Moving towards 1 year, the shift is happening." I love this conversation. Thank you, Samantha. Yeah, it is a very important conversation, and I think uh, with myself being really involved in like spiritual community and women's groups and things like that, I I want more people to understand how powerful this can make you feel, um, and not feel like I'm trying to sell them something.
Mhm, mhm.
Mm. I
It's
got a
funny
little bit
because
of echo.
yeah, I did something. I'm sorry. I was trying to take a screenshot so I could post it later, and I did something. Is it still echoing? Did it go weird again, or is it?
A little bit.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. I guess I'm just gonna hear my own voice back.
Well, you sound fine on my end, so I
Okay,
apologize.
good.
Whatever I did. Yeah, it's just about educating, and then people have to make a choice from there. And I am running a live info session tonight, 5:30 p.m. Eastern. So if anyone does want to hop on and learn more, Julia can give you the link and get you
Yes.
connected, so we can share more about what we're doing, how we're doing this together as a community, and without fear. There's no fear. Who has time for that? I'm just like sick of the politics, the arguing, the distractions. It's like life is too beautiful and too awesome. There's too many good people out there, too many good things happening to worry about all the nonsense. Like, let's just move forward with joy.
Exactly.
Yeah, be aware, but move forward with joy.
Oh, and I think that's where you and I are so similar, because we both were like living in fear for a minute, because it did feel scary.
Yeah.
you know,
you know,
and it
and
felt like
it felt
people
like
were
people
literally
were
trying to kill
literally
us.
trying to kill us. Yes.
And
And
but we both
but
stepped
we both stepped
into
into
trusting ourselves
trusting
and trusting
ourselves and
God
trusting
too.
God too.
Yes. That was 2020 for me was like everything. I was so consumed in fear and I was like I can't live this way anymore. And also cuz my husband kind of like called me out on it too. He's like I can't be around you like this. Like everything I was consumed, angry, upset, scared, like all the things and that's when faith came into my world and I got reconnected and sorry, all the noises.
No, it's okay.
and okay. Um lots of motorbikes around. Yes, that's the mode of transportation. Okay, thanks God. But yeah, and then so that's when I found faith and was like, okay, it's time to make a change. Like I can live this way in fear and think the worst, or I can trust in the one who created everything, who actually is sovereign, who laid out his life for us to be free, and I can actually step in that freedom and actually move towards that victory, and start living to create.
I love it.
I love
Well,
it.
thank you
Well,
very
thank you
much.
very much.
I know that
I
I
know
could sit
that
here and
I
I could
could sit
talk
here
to
and
you
I could talk to
forever,
you forever,
except for the echo
except
of
for the
hearing my
echo of
voice
hearing
back.
my voice back.
Yes.
But maybe that's
But
just
maybe
the
that's
way of
just the
saying
way of
wrap it
saying
up,
wrap it
girl.
up, girl.
Yeah, because it's time. We'll just have
It's
to.
time.
It's
And my
time.
kids came back. Little one needs me,
Yes,
so it's
yes.
all timing.
Yes.
Yes, all timing. We'll
Wonderful.
have to
Well,
like
I will put
reschedule.
the
I will
link
put the link
below.
below.
If anybody, and
If
it, what
anybody,
time
and
is it
what
tonight?
time is it tonight?
5:30 p.m.
5:30 p.m. All
5:30
right,
p.m. All
wonderful.
right,
Thank you
wonderful.
again,
Thank
and
you
I hope you
again,
have a
and I
beautiful
hope you
day,
have a
and I'll
beautiful
see
day, and
you
I'll
later
see
on.
you later on.
Sounds good. All right.
Okay,
Bye.
bye.
Okay, bye.